Welcome, world, to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. I am Reverend Sandy Rogers, and as the creator of this historic event, it is my pleasure to welcome you. We come together to bring you this historic event. We have practitioners, holistic practitioners. We have medical doctors. We have spiritual individuals. This event is so lovingly dedicated to my mother, Mrs. Barbara Dean Brown. And my mother taught me like 40 plus years ago about the importance and the meaning behind herbs. And she would always say, we don't know what they putting in those pills, so you better not, get hooked on prescription drugs. And so we listened to Mom, but not all of us paid attention. My sister, bless her heart, was diagnosed recently thereafter with asthma, and she was prescribed prednisone, which is a very powerful steroid. And my sister actually got hooked on steroids, like someone out on the street kind of hooked, like on heroin or crack or something like that. And so my mom and my sister are both on the other side, living in the other dimension, but they're upholding me, and this is dedicated to their memory. So we don't want to come and make you change your mind about what you're doing. We just want to provide information to you, something different, so that you have options to choose from, so that you're not stuck. Because the environment that we now live in, the fast foods, the toxins in the air that we breathe and in the water that we drink, and the processed foods, and all of that is causing havoc on this precious body temple. So God created our bodies to heal themselves, but they can only heal themselves when they're fed and they're nourished and they're stress-free. And so the 60 or so or more experts that we have are bringing you this worldwide wellness movement in an attempt to share their testimonies and their information with you. So we have from age 14 on up. I don't even know what the oldest age is. I think 88 or something. So you see, that's a wide range of knowledge that we're bringing you. And so we hope that you come and that you get all the knowledge that you need to affect a positive change on your life, and share this with others. It's free, it's online, and so we're just so thankful that you decided to be a part of our listening community, the viewing community, and we certainly appreciate you for giving us your time of day and your energy and your efforts to being with us and to being a part of this historic event. We have pulled together people of color for you, by you, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that we too, melanated people with color, can enjoy, practice, and participate in some of these modalities that others have been doing for centuries, and that is pretty new to our community. So we talk about Qigong, we talk about meditation, yoga, spiritual work from a different perspective than religion. So we talk about the spirituality aspect. We talk about abuse in the families. We talk about all kinds of subjects because we know that in our communities there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we never talk about that's causing a negative effect on our bodies and its healing process. So we address it, whatever it is, and we hope that you will benefit from the many experts that we have, and that you walk away with lots of knowledge and lots of new information, and that you become fully empowered to share information with others. So thank you for being with us. We love you and we bless you, and we look forward to doing this again. But thanks for being here with the first one. We appreciate you.
Love and wellness. Life, love, and wellness.
living healthy and working out and running are a part of my my lifestyle, my daily regimen. And I got started. Well, my mother was in physical ed, and so she very early brought me along with her in tennis and other sports, swimming. But then as I began to embrace my favorite sports and outlets, we'll put it that way, I began to become very interested in the nutrition aspect of it, and then also how to make my body reflect my health habits. So I would say I started very young, and thank God it's carried on into I just turned 50 last year, working on 51, and very happy to say that I am healthier now than I was back in my 30s. And so some of my daily routines and regimen include working out. I'll go and I include at least 30 to 45 minutes of cardio, running. I love to run, or some type of cardio class, cycling, a cycle class at the gym. And then I'll also use the weights, whether it be upper body or lower body. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Currently, I'm training for a couple of sporting events. One is called the Ragnar, and it's going to be in Canada in a couple of weeks. It's in June. And what that entails is me running different legs of a relay. It's called the Ragnar Relay. And so we'll be running continuously for about 24 to 36 hours. It's a relay where a group of people, and usually in the group of about 12, they split up certain different legs of a race, and we run over 300 miles in about 24 to 48 hours. Yes, and we're going to start Friday and end Saturday evening. And very exciting event. It's going to also entail running through the evening and sleeping outside, and riding in a van alongside runners. So, and it's going to be also very exciting because we'll be in Niagara Falls. So I'll actually end the run and I'm the last leg in Niagara Falls. So I'm looking forward to that. So been training for that. It entails running at all times of the day, how experiencing how it feels to run in the evening after you've worked on tired legs, and then also very fresh in the morning. So the preparation is, I've just been running at all times and making sure my diet reflects something that will help me endure the running. Along with that, Ragnar, I'm training for a relay. It's another relay. It's called the Ironman Augusta. So I'm going to do a relay with my cousins, and I'm going to do the swim section. So my cousins, one is doing the cycle and the other is doing the running. And so I'm going to do the swim section. So it's a new experience for me. I swim. I love to swim, and so they made me do the swim section. I'm eager to just participate because I've always wanted to participate in an Ironman, to give me kind of a look what it entails, so that in the future I can do the full legs, all three. So
explain a little bit more about the Ironman.
Oh, well, it is an endurance race that entails 3 different segments. The first segment is swimming, the second segment is riding a bike, and the third segment is running. And so in that sequence, we're going to do the half Ironman. I'm going to do a mile swimming. My cousin's going to do 50 miles on the cycle, and my other cousin's going to do 13 miles running. The full Ironman, it entails 2 miles swimming, double everything, 100 miles on the cycle, and 26 miles. now 26 miles. So imagine one person doing all three of those at one time at any given day. So yes, just very an endurance based race that a lot of people really just want to complete just to test themselves and see, and I understand that once you've done one, you want to do others. So just as with races, marathons, if you've done one, you really want to, test yourself further and do more than one.
So as with most things, the variety really keeps you motivated and inspired to
Yes,
keep going.
yes, absolutely. Not only the variety with the different segments of the race, but also they take them all over the world. You can do it in Hawaii, other different countries. I have met this guy who was doing one in Dominican Republic, and so it's just they go all over the world. It's very exciting, and there's like blogs and people who keep up with each other to say, hey, well, we're training for this, and it's very fun stuff.
So how long have you been involved in the running aspect? I know you said your mom started you as a young person.
Let's see, I've been running for about 8 years now. About 8 years. I was a what my husband would call a gym rat when we met. We met and he couldn't keep me out the gym at night. He said, "Wait a minute, I thought we got married." I went to the gym every day. Every day, it was not a day. And so then I had to change my schedule, and start going in the morning with him. We started off at 5 a.m., which I prefer now. It's no way I can work out in the evenings unless I have to. But I started off in the gym and, became friends with people. And this one young lady came and said, well, after a workout one day, she said, hey, let's go out for a run. I said, I can't run. I never thought I could do it. And we only did 1 mile. And after that, I was like, that was it. And I've been hooked ever since. That 6 months later, I signed up to do a half marathon. Yeah,
wow.
So I was hooked. Yes. And since then, I've done, last year I did 3 marathons, and the year before that I did 1. And so just really, it's an evolving thing. Once you've, become comfortable, you want to continue to add. And so that's why I'm adding on the Ironman aspect of it.
And your cousin, you run marathons with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a family affair.
Absolutely. I've even had. We just ran a half marathon in LA a couple of months back. Excuse me, it was last month, and a friend of mine ran with us, and he says, "You know what, Tracey, you and Monique should get a blog, like a running blog, because he says he's so enamored with how we." Everyone we pass, we give encouragement to as we're running, and it's so funny. He said, "You all really should do a video while you're running, because the way you all encourage other people and just have so much fun together, I think it would inspire others." So I'm considering to do that also.
That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have other family members that are involved also, like in athletics or running or?
So my cousin in Houston is so she's the one I usually run with. She just finished what's called the MS 160, where they did 160 miles across Houston, and this was about 2 weeks ago. She rode her bike for overnight for 2 days. The first day it was 100 miles, and the second day it was 60. And then my other cousin, who's inspired me to run as well, Stacy, she's the one who's going to run the leg in our Ironman. She's been running forever. She's done multiple marathons as well. So our mothers are sisters. We have our grandfather, who was very athletic. He played football. He was very instrumental in their adaptation to tennis and other sports, and I'm sure he influenced my mother when it came to what she majored in at school. And also my mother was just she was just inducted to the school that they call it a Hall of Fame over at Carver. George Washington Carver High School. She was just inducted into the Hall of Fame for sports for being an awesome coach over there for the years that she was there. So I'm honored to be, her daughter, and she can still, pretty put a hurting on me with tennis too. She plays tennis still, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so trying to keep up with my mother and my cousins. I'm not going to be left behind.
So you're competitive as well, right?
I am.
That's
Absolutely.
so cool.
When I first started working out, I was in my early 30s, working out hard at the gym, I should say. I've always been active with sports, but working out hard at the gym to see my results. I had one trainer tell me, well, Tracey, if you really want to see your results, you're going to have to change your eating habits. You're going to have, you can't eat, fries and chips and expect, that to reflect well on your body. And then another person told me, yes, that the certain foods cause you to have cellulite. And so I, it wasn't about, trying to have cellulite. So that was, I guess it's kind of a vain statement, but it was really driven initially on how I looked. And after I started seeing the results and feeling the results of eating well, my whole mindset changed, and I embraced, eating well and clean and healthy live foods, and having live foods be my base, and the what I encourage others to embrace also.
Because it really does have a big impact.
Yes,
on,
absolutely.
And cellulite, I mean, if that's your motivator, that's your motivator.
At that point in time it was, but I'm 50 now, and it's a little harder no matter what you do to try. But I will say, your food, it is true, you are what you eat, and if you eat poorly, it's going to show no matter what. It's going to, come off in your skin, in your body physique, and it's just going to, so I'll just say that I'm my family's biggest fan, and I encourage them, everyone I encounter, even my teammates at work, they, know, if they want to ask, talk about food and diet and just how to become more healthy conscious with their diet. They know that I would love to counsel and instruct, even though I'm not nutritionally, I don't have that certification yet. This is one of my goals, to become certified, and so that when people talk to you, they say, okay, well, she's certified, she really knows. But now I just use me as the example. And it's all about educating yourself and becoming aware of your body and what's good and what's not for you. I'm active most days, so if I'm not running or working out, I'm gonna do something active. Whether also I entail yoga, I'll throw a yoga class in there so that I don't get all knotted up, and it also releases. So I'm active, you can say, most days, which suits me. Yeah, I prefer to be doing something because it just makes it it's a good stimulator. It makes me feel good.
Good, good. And so you already said that your husband was at the gym. And so how about your son?
Oh, he's active also. He cannot, I was just thinking yesterday, we kind of let him get a pass because he'd had some heavy tutor sessions, but as I was doing push-ups yesterday, I said, oh, we kind of let Trey slide with the push-ups, but he, was keeping, he runs with me, usually 3 or 4 times a week. After dinner, we'll run the food down, and then we'll come in and, do some push-ups and other stretches and crunches but nothing more than 20-30 minutes, just so that he's comfortable, and then and ready to get started with any other program. So I'm going to start him up with a basketball coach this coming year, and so he's embraced, working out. He's embraced drinking smoothies every day from his mom. He doesn't turn his nose up at the color anymore. And usually, even if the smoothie tastes a little green, he says, "Oh, mommy, it's delicious." Even if I can taste it, it's not as sweet as it could or could be. But so he's pretty much embraced the eating right, and he knows that when we're cheating, he says, "Okay, mommy, it's just for now. It's not, So I allow a cheat day or two for him.
Well, that's wonderful because a lot of children don't even have that experience of any activity.
Right.
So they've taken physical ed out of a lot of the schools, and so the kids don't move.
Right.
So that's wonderful. So what about the neighborhood children? Do you ever get them wanting to be involved with you guys or
I'm
to
working
join?
I'm working on that. So it's funny you mentioned every morning. In the past month, I've been running, and I see the kids leaving off to school just as we witness them coming back, and I know they were like, "Oh, here she comes." She's gonna, because I'm the lady that's always speaking and saying, "Hey, have a good day," and stirring up conversation. So I'm working on it, with this generation. I see them playing outside at night in the evening sometimes. So I can't say that they're not all active, but it's a different generation of what do you call it? They're into the internet and social media, and what they can do online. And so, but I am working on devising a schedule for. I'm going to get with the community center up here, and see if we can't pull together a couple of classes over the summer. I would first say, write down what you would like to do. Write your goals down, and then break them up into something that's easily achievable, so attainable. So say, for instance, if you are looking to start running, or if you are looking to lose some weight, let's first write down, okay, I want to run a 5K, I want to run a marathon. Well, let's first start walking the neighborhood. Let's write it down, and then break it down into smaller pieces. I would start walking around the neighborhood, and in intervals, I would say, do a little trot and see how that feels, and then continue working up to it. And I would suggest doing it at least, 3 times a week, and it's always fun to take someone with you. So having your kid or a dog walk with you would be a good motivator as well. With diet, I would also state to write down your goals as far as your weight goals and how you would like to see yourself. Give yourself at least a year. And then write down some things that you enjoy but you can do without, that are not good. So we all know, right, what we instinctively have a trigger in ourselves that says, okay, well, I'm eating this isn't really good. And I would just suggest, when you have these ideas of what you'd like to eat, to think of the nutrition value and what it's going to do for you, because ultimately what you put in, you're going to get out. And when you're eating, you want to eat live foods. You want to eat a healthy live diet of greens and fibers, and let that be the most that's on your plate, versus having a lot of starches and meats. I'm not saying don't eat that. I'm just saying once you start giving yourself more of the live foods, you'll find that you will prefer them. Initially, it may not be something. It'll be something that's a challenge, but putting aside the processed foods, the chips, and I'm not saying forever. I'm just saying until you start to see some results. I will say that each year, each year I do a fast every quarter, and that fast is from 10 to 20 days. When I fast, I abstain from all processed foods, anything that may have been fried, or chips, or meat, any heavy sugars. And I find that when I do this, when I'm off of the fast, I don't want these things anymore. And I would suggest even trying to do a fast, and it could be a food-based fast. It could be a spiritual. You know, incorporate your spiritual needs with that. You know, abstaining from things that would distract you from your diet and from your spiritual needs. And you'll find that when you return, or you get off the fast, that you're no longer desire for those things anymore. I remember you asked, when did I start running, and you saw that I kind of counted back, and I used my son's age as a guide. He's 9 now. I think I said I started running. I was about 8 years. So yeah. So I waited until after he was born, and decided that would be a good, also a good outlet for working out. But I wanted to say that I worked out throughout my whole pregnancy. I got pregnant at 30. No, I was 30. I was 40 when I was pregnant. So my goal was to continue staying healthy and working out. And believe it or not, I worked out until the last day, right before I delivered. So it can be done. It took me exactly 3 months to be ready. I could put my clothes back on in 3 months, and it was a challenge for me, because I wanted to not only prove to myself but to others it can be done. I had instructors and trainers who were working out, who I saw pregnant and come back, bounce back, couple of months later, and they were, like they had not had a child. So with that, one of the challenges that I was faced with, though, were the doctor community, the doctors that I saw, because of my late age and having a baby. They were also nervous about whether or not I would do well. But by the time I was 5 months pregnant, my perinatalogist said, "Ms. Kirkland, please, no concerns here. You have the pregnancy of a 21-year-old." Having said that, my son is 9 years old. My husband is 11 years older than me. So we have continued to stay healthy and continue to stay active by running and working out. And my husband goes to the gym every day, works out. And he's also, I'm competing with him as well. so I was trying to stay healthy. And if you saw him, you would not believe he's 61. But he's, the youngest looking 61. People think he's my age. It's so amazing. So we're blessed in that way. Something I cannot leave out of this. Whenever I receive a compliment as such, I do have to give honor to God, because He is why and He is how. And so one of my main ways of getting people in conversation, if I do get this compliment, is to let them know that not only has He enabled me to do it, He can do it for you too. It just takes some determination, focus, and you can do it.